In this video, I'd like to talk about childhood trauma. Most of us, when we were young children, have witnessed some form of trauma, and trauma can be to different degrees. And that's simply because we are all unique and we have different levels of sensitivity. But it appears that people who have been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder are extremely sensitive, extremely intuitive, and have this fire behind loyalty. And it's because they have got massive, loving hearts. And so when that big heart has seen a lot as a child, the heart gets guarded by the characteristics of a childlike nature. And childlike nature is the most beautiful nature, because if you look at a 4-year-old that is carefree, they are very playful, very sweet, very innocent. But when that 4-year-old has been exposed to traumatic events, it doesn't stop being sweet and playful, it becomes frightened and it says, no, I can't handle this. So the 4-year-old characteristic is hidden in the heart. And that's why the heart is the thing that we guard, because we don't want anybody to hurt it. Another aspect of the heart is it is the believing side of us. So if you could imagine, if your heart has been severely hurt through trauma, childhood trauma, and you imagine that the characteristics of the 4-year-old is playful, loving, trusting, has no concerns and no worries, that's the true nature. That true nature of that 4-year-old, if you say to the 4-year-old, it's your birthday tomorrow, if you don't go to bed, the birthday bunny is not going to bring you presents, that 4-year-old will think, oh, there's a birthday bunny, and it will run and go to bed. It believes everything. It's so innocent, so beautiful, and so loving. And that's what we are carrying within us, is that childlike nature. And everybody has that childlike nature. But what society has done, especially in Western countries, is you're told you must grow up, you must become responsible, you've got responsibilities to face, you've got this to do. It's all lots of have to, must, and should. And when you use those type of words, they set up resistance. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't evolve and become mature adults, but what I'm saying is during the maturing, we ought to also have that ability to be innocent and to be free and trusting and loving and playful with life, because this is only part of the journey. And yes, there are times that we will have to face responsibility and do certain things, but it should be balanced. It shouldn't just be serious and no play. And so this 4-year-old does have a characteristic, and I've just spoken about the characteristics. It's believing, it's loyal, it's playful, very trusting, and can easily get hurt. And so people who I have worked with, and I've worked with a lot of people that have had that mental health condition that we call BPD, but I call it beautiful, powerful, and deserving of love, is that because the heart has been hurt and it is so innocent and so beautiful, rightfully so, there's a guard around it that you're not going to hurt me no more. Nobody's hurting me. And that's where the turbulent relationships come from, because the thing with people who have BPD is they are extremely intuitive, very, very sensitive, and have very accurate emotional intelligence. And so you can see through things very easily. And it's undisputable. If you see a certain trait in another human being and there's an opportunity for you to discuss that trait, if that other person says they don't have it, straight away you might get angry, because you really can see it, because Intuition doesn't lie. You're super sensitive, so you can feel the vibration of what's coming from that person. And then you've got emotional intelligence. You can name every single emotion, you can name every single frequency, and it's because you are a brilliant being. And that brilliant being has come here to have love, joy, and fun, and it hasn't had that. It received trauma. So, the thing with trauma, if it's come from somebody who we love and trusted, a caregiver, which can be a parent or somebody who took care of you or was put in charge over your welfare when you was a child, if they have abused that trust, the 4-year-old will hold on to that hurt, because the 4-year-old, it is just like, if you imagine, if you've got a 4-year-old with you and the ice cream van turns up and you've promised that 4-year-old an ice cream and you've got the money and you're saying, come on, let's go and get an ice cream. And the ice cream man is lovely and he's smiling and the ice cream is beautifully put together. If you then take the ice cream and say to the 4-year-old, I'm sorry, you're not having it, and you eat it in front of them, you are going to break their hearts. And that's why the 4-year-old, it kind of fights against itself, because you're so loving and you're so loyal. You didn't expect that person to do that, and so it is taken so personally. But unfortunately, the downside of that is when we hold resentment in the heart, it's hurting the 4-year-old even more. So now we feel guilty. What the hell shall I do? Because the 4-year-old is justified. That thing or that person shouldn't have done that. It's fully justified. But if I keep hold of the righteous anger, because it's got a right to be angry, I'm hurting myself. And that then sets up guilt and shame and embarrassment in the adult. Because you are super sensitive, you may not say these words, but you are feeling the energies and the vibrations behind the word guilty, shameful, and embarrassment. And because you are emotional intelligent, you know what those energies are. So you can't deny them. So now you've got a conflict going on inside. There is a way out. Absolutely, there's a way out. Now, I know there's different therapeutic tools. There's so many things that we can do to empower ourselves with well-being. Some of us have got it in us where we can say, you know what, it is what it is. It was the past. And maybe do a forgiveness practice. There's different levels, different things. But one thing that I know works for all, whether you are strong enough to forgive, whether you are understanding to know that the person who hurt you really didn't mean it and they was going through something, it doesn't matter. That 4-year-old is very believing and very loyal, but it's very believing and very loyal to you more than anybody else, because it is you. That 4-year-old characteristic is locked inside your heart, and it's a massive part of you, and you believe you. You may have difficulty trusting and believing others. And again, it's because you're highly intuitive and you are super sensitive and great emotional intelligence, and human beings are flawed. Doesn't mean that every human being is out to hurt you. We are flawed beings. We've all had something happen to us. And sometimes we can look through the eyes of jealousy. Sometimes we can look through the eyes of anger. And so if somebody who's got BPD perceives that, that's what you're seeing and hearing, and you can say thank you, but no thank you. And that is where the turbulent relationships come from. And then it's then, the ideation of I'm not worth it. This is too much. The solution is to please recognize that that 4-year-old character is still very much alive. It's in your heart and it wants and needs protecting. It believes your voice more than anybody else's, because you can't lie to yourself. And if you are lying to yourself, you think, oh, what am I doing? You're not that hard on yourself, because again, we can lie to ourselves. We can say, yeah, I'm okay. And then we think, no, I bloody well end. So we can be playful with ourselves. And that is why the 4-year-old characteristic that's in the heart needs your voice. It's your voice that it needs, nobody else's. So if you recognize that, a really good method is to get yourself relaxed. So it's as if you've been given the solution to your problem now. You can be like, oh, thank God. Oh, That's the attitude, that, oh God, relaxing. And now, without remembering the trauma, because I don't want to put you on a hamster wheel, because you don't need to keep on reliving it. It's happened. It's the 4-year-old that's reminding you, I'm hurting, I'm hurting, I'm hurting. If you are a parent of a 4-year-old and they've got their finger trapped on something, the first thing you're going to do is remove the thing that's hurting the 4-year-old's finger, and you're going to kiss it better and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That 4-year-old, when it sees the door that its finger was trapped in, it's going to remember. It's going to have that trauma, and that's what your heart's doing. That's what the 4-year-old character's doing. So what your role is as a responsible, loving adult who has all the qualities of the 4-year-old, you have that love, you have all of the qualities because you are that. It's just a different aspect to you. You just look within, or even if you can't look within, just be still. A good way to be still is to focus on the breath, because the breath is in the present moments. The breath is not in the past and it's not in the future. So you can do some breath exercise, and all that is just close your eyes and follow your breath. That's how simple it is, so that your mind slows down, all the emotions, everything slows down. And then all you have to do is tell your 4-year-old, I love you so much. You are so precious. You are extremely precious. But don't make it dual, make it singular, because as well as healing the 4-year-old, you're healing whatever age you are. There's a dual healing going on. So if you say, I am amazing and I am lovable, I am powerful, I am deserving of love, I am so lovable. And as you're saying that, because of the things that we do as adults, we can carry guilt and think, oh no, I can't tell myself that. So it's just to know that that 4-year-old character is listening to what you're saying, and it recognizes I am. So you say, I am beautiful. Have the 4-year-old in mind, however you want to do that. You can feel into it, or you can vision it if you're able to with that. Just do whatever you do, make sure you're not pulling up the trauma, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. I want you to be as gentle as possible, be as relaxed as possible, and just know that you are the healer of that 4-year-old. And just tell it how much it's loved, because you're the one who loves that 4-year-old, and you are full of love. A really good tool, and I have said this 1,000 times and it works like magic, is to go within and just say to your 4-year-old, thank you. And if the 4-year-old starts stamping its feet saying, you took your time, you was taking ages, I don't like this, just say thank you, because you're saying thank you to the sweetness, the patience. Just say thank you. Let the 4-year-old have a tantrum, because the 4-year-old saw trauma. So it's not to suppress it, and it's certainly not to express it. Just be kind to that side of you and just say, it's okay. Oh God, thank you. I am worth it. It is okay. Thank you. You may experience turbulence, because now the 4-year-old has got your attention and it wants to give you all of its trauma. Be patient with it. Don't turn away from it. Say, yes, I accept this. Thank you. I accept this. Thank you so much. I accept this. Thank you. And it's going to tell you about the trauma. It may start voicing out, say, it's absolutely fine. We're here to let it go. Thank you. We're here to let it go, because the 4-year-old is the playful side of you. And as an adult, you can also be playful. It wakes up your creativity. It works like magic. It really does. So please be kind to yourself. Visit your 4-year-old as often as you can. And then you may get to the point where you live inside your house with your 4-year-old and you interact with the world. So you're now guarding your 4-year-old. You're not letting any trauma come in, and you are rested inside the body. Because that's the only reason why you don't go in, is because it's noisy and it's painful. But if I remind you or point out to you that what is actually in there is the 4-year-old that needs your love, and it believes Your words and your words only. I hope this truly blesses you. Have an amazing day. Thank you.